Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Trash Your Football. Today is finally the Miami predictions video, ladies and gentlemen. One of the videos that a lot of you guys have been requesting that I do as of recent. Now, as you guys know, I'm a Florida Gators fan, and I don't like Miami. Now we have a fan in our Discord server named Swag Kane. We all tease him for being a delusional Miami fan, but it's okay. He knows we're joking around with him. Kind of, obviously. But I think it's time for me to give my non biased opinion on Miami's 2024 football schedule. And without further ado, week one. Man, this is going to hurt. At the Florida Gators in week one. Now, the Florida Gators, they did lose some talent. They lost their best wide receiver in Ricky Pearsall. They also lost Trevor Etienne in the transfer portal to Georgia. While they did bring in LJ McCray, one of the top defensive linemen in recruiting last year, who I think is going to be a year one starter who's going to make an absolute blast on the line. They brought in the number one quarterback, but he's going to be the backup. Graham Mertz is probably the best, or I don't know, one of the better retained quarterbacks in the country. And I'm not saying the best. He's one of the better. Obviously, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, Jackson Dart, Brady Cook are probably all better. But, Graham Mertz had a very, very good season last year. And I think he's going to do even better this upcoming season at Florida. Now, in this game against Miami, it will be in Gainesville. It will be a 3:30, I believe 3:30 game on ABC / ESPN, kind of. Miami pulled in probably one of the best quarterbacks in the transfer portal in Cam Ward. Cam Ward was one of the better quarterbacks in the Pac-12 last year. He had, I think, like 3,000 passing yards, more than that at least. But Florida and Miami, they haven't played much in recent years. They used to play every year for a long time, and then now they've only made sporadic appearances. This is only Miami's third game in Gainesville since 1985. And the last time that these two teams did play, it was in Orlando in the Camping World kickoff in week 0 of 2019. This game is going to come down to a one-score game. And, I think it's going to be whoever can control the turnover game the most. Can Florida's DBs pick up some picks? Can, Miami's defense maybe force a couple of fumbles? As much as it pains me to say, I have Miami winning this game, maybe 27-24, maybe 24-21, something like that. I still think Florida might have a chance. Originally, I had Florida winning this game. If you go back and watch my Florida predictions, I had Florida winning this game. But the more and more that I think about it, the more and more I think, man, Miami might actually be pretty good next year. So I really do think they have a chance of beating my Florida Gators this upcoming season. I'm sorry, not sorry to my Florida fans watching the channel. I do have Miami winning. And I'm sorry for spending a lot of time on that Florida game, though. But then in week 2, you have a very easy game right here against Florida A&M. This is going to be at home against an FCS team. This should really be, I could really see Miami winning by more than 40, maybe 35 to 40 point win. Just all depends on their defense. I have a lot of trust in their offense. Let's just see how their defense will do. It's an FCS team. I don't care. Put another W in the slot right there for Miami. And then you have another easy home game against Ball State here in week 3. And by this time, I feel like everything will be easier to be getting into. I feel like Mario Cristobal will be able to understand more of this new kind of team for Miami with a lot of transfers incoming and some of the new hot recruits that he's gotten coming into the starter roles. Obviously, another easy win right there. It's Ball State. It's an easy win right there for Miami. And then you head into week 4, and this is going to be against Southern Florida, and it's going to be at Tampa. USF, had a very close game against Alabama last season. They also looked very decent against Florida. I think they played last season or the year before. USF is not a bad team. They're not awful. They're definitely not great, but they're not awful. This also could be a very close game. Like I said, it's going to be in Tampa. I do have Miami winning, though. This should be fairly easy. I don't think it's going to come down to the wire like the Florida game will, but I think that this might be a very close game for maybe the first 3 quarters, and then Miami runs away with it by two or three scores in the fourth quarter. This should be a win for Miami, but don't be afraid if they blow it, because I would not be surprised. And then you have Virginia Tech. Now, Virginia Tech has, I think, the top in returning starters in the country. They might end up being a perennial ACC team this upcoming season. But this game will be played at Miami. I think this is going to be the game where all the fans start thinking, oh my God, we might be good. Coming into the game 3-0, opening the conference play. I think that this will be a win right here for Miami too. I think this will probably be the closest winning game for Miami during the ACC conference play. And I think starting out right here, 5-0. I meant to say they came into the game 4-0, but starting the season 5-0 with wins against Florida, and then going and beating Florida A&M, Ball State, USF, and then Virginia Tech. I think that'll really set Miami on set to a really, really good season. And then it brings them to playing all the way across the country at Cal in Berkeley, California. Berkeley, is that how you pronounce it? I'm looking at footballschedules.com if you're curious. This one could very well be a trap game. It's in between, Virginia Tech, and then they have to play Louisville the next week. This one's, I really leaned toward Cal. This is probably more of an easier game for Miami than it is for Cal to win, for Miami to lose than it is for Cal to win. I am going to pick Cal to win this game, or not Cal. I'm going to pick Miami to win this game right here. Sorry, I stuttered. I meant to say Cal to lose. I'm going to pick Miami to win this game right here. It's going to be very close. Do give me Miami to start out 6-1 or 6-0, and then 2-0 in the conference. 6-0 to start. And then you have to play on the road at Louisville. I think this one should be pretty obvious right here. Miami is not winning on the road at Louisville. Give me Louisville to win right here. I feel like this is one of the games that a lot of Miami fans kind of expect to lose. Now, in the last 6 games, Louisville has won 4 times, This should be a very, very easy win for Louisville right here. I do expect it to also be kind of close, maybe like 30-21, 31-20, somewhere in that range of a 7 to 10 point win right there for Louisville. Somewhere in that range. But do give me Louisville. They have also a lot of returning talent too, and I could also very well see them maybe winning the ACC this year along the likes of Clemson and Florida State. And then next, you have to play Florida State in Miami. This is the ACC champion right here, This is really hard to say. Miami hasn't won since the COVID year. 52-10. Florida State has absolutely controlled this with 3 straight wins. I like Mike Norvell. I don't like Florida State, but I do like Mike Norvell. Jordan Travis is gone. He played at Florida State for a very long time. Out with the old, in with the new. This is going to be still a very good Florida State team, but I do have Florida State winning this one. I think they're just a more talented all-around football team than Miami. Miami still might have some star players, but if you just look at all the positions, up, left, right, corner to corner, inside and out, all the players, Florida State has some of the best talent in the ACC all around. Give me the Seminoles to beat Miami. And starting off the season with 2 losses so far. And then next up, you have to play against Duke at home. Man, Manny Diaz. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be in Miami, though. This is going to be very hard. The head coach, I can't remember his name for the life of me, left for Texas A&M. Mike Elko, my bad. That was his name. Is now leaving or has left for Texas A&M. So this might be a little bit of a down year for Duke. They were never really a perennial college football team to begin with. If you had asked me this last year, if you asked me this year, I would have said Miami would have won. but it is what it is. Give me Miami to win this one. Should be pretty easy. 7-2, I think, is what we have them at so far. I very well could be wrong. Because I'm just not good with math. You'll see it on the side of the screen what I think their current record will be going into the game in the rematch against Georgia Tech. This will be in Atlanta. Man. Oh, all they had to do was knee it. All they had to do was knee it. Miami's going to get their comeback this year. Georgia Tech's not a really great team, you know. They're going to be probably one of the more lower ranked ACC teams. I still like Haynes King. He's a very good quarterback. He's pretty good. I don't think Georgia Tech's going to be able to get the job done against Miami 2 years in a row only because of a coaching mistake. Like, they should have just kneeled the ball, man. Miami's going to get their revenge, though, and I think that revenge is going to be very, very sweet. Only for Miami. Do give me Miami to win this game at Atlanta. And then you play against Wake Forest. Ladies and gentlemen, the last time Wake Forest has beaten Miami was 1944. Make that still 1944 after this season. This is gonna be another easy win for Miami. Wake Forest is just not a great team. I don't think there's any reason to give the win for Wake Forest right here. You know, sometimes that they've played Wake Forest, it's really been close, but I still do have Miami winning this game again. And then heading into the final game to end the season, you play at Syracuse at JMA Wireless Dome. You know, I really like Syracuse. Not because I like them, I think they're just a good team, too. This Syracuse team, I think, is on set to probably be very, very good in the ACC within the next 2 to 3 years. Will it be this year? No, I don't think so. But Miami, if they want to make it to the ACC championship game, they're going to need to win this game. If they're going to want to try and get a chance in a rematch against maybe Florida State or Louisville, or maybe a matchup with Clemson, depending on if Florida State or Louisville lose some games. You know, this should be an easy game for Miami, but I have Syracuse winning this one. This one also has trap game written all over it. You know, Miami wanting to close the season 10-2. I think they're going to finish the season 9-3 with 2 losses in the conference. They still can make the conference championship. They also could very well make a lower seed playoff run, maybe at 10 or 11, maybe even 12, depending on if they put a Group 5 team higher than them in the playoffs. This shouldn't be a game to slide by, though, for Miami. They also could very well win this. This is a pretty winnable game. But just like the Cal game before being a trap game, I think Syracuse could very well actually trap them and beat them at home at Syracuse. Give me the orange to win this game to finish out the season 9-3. Now, Miami could very well finish in the top 4 of the ACC. They're not a great conference, but they're still competitive in their top 3 or 4 teams. And Miami, coming up to being a good team now, I think is going to be able to control that top 4 instead of 3 spot, along with Clemson, Florida State, and Louisville. What will the ACC championship game look like this year? I don't know. But I do have 9-3, 8-4 at the lowest, maybe 10-2, 11-1 maybe? But let me know in the comments below what you guys think Miami's record's going to be during this college football season. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe and turn the notifications bell on. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Make sure you also let me know what what schedule you guys want to see me predict next time. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.